one of the main things about my life that I wanted to know was who I was as a person, because I always felt like I didn't particularly know what kind of person I was or who I was. Like, do you know yourself? People would ask me that, and I felt like I really didn't. And so I would have to probably build some characteristics that are me, and that's when I sort of become like a character, and that's like the only answer that I could have, like, to define like who am I, and when describing myself, things like that. I am this character who feels like he's invincible throughout the world, who feels like he thinks different than most people he meets. I'm also a person who, not like, I don't really have, I have weaknesses, but not that much. But when I say like invincible, I mean that when I want to do something, I feel like I can do it. I feel like it's not a necessary hard part of my life, but I'm actually, there are points where I could be more satisfied with my life, of course, but in terms of motivation, I think that emotional motivation is more so, has more of an impact on me than physical motivation, which means that when I'm motivated to do something, because that used to be a problem with me, wasn't doing as good as I could have, and it was because I wasn't motivated. And so when people started asking me what motivates me, I didn't know what to say because there was really nothing. And as soon as I found, like, when I built the future for myself, I guess the present wrote itself. And so I just take life day by day. But I feel like now that I have built a future for myself, that it pushes me, and I feel like I just do what I gotta do so that I can be in this picture that I paint for myself, as well as anybody would. And I think that watching a lot of film, there were some characters that I saw as myself, and I remember this one particular one. It was a show that I was watching, and there was this character, this guy, he owned a record label. He was making music back in the 1970s and 1980s. And so his company, the problem was they were about to go bankrupt. And so he was going to sell his share of the company, which was also other people's share, so that everybody could be fine to feed their families or whatever. And before he signed the paper, he decided he wasn't going to, because he was looking towards the future. He felt like he could try harder, that nothing could really stop him, type of thing. It's just like those invincible characters that I want to portray as myself, the characters that no one can really stop. No one, can say something and make them really crumble. Just those characters I look up to, and I'm inspired by them because they show so much courage and invincibility. And I feel like no matter how many things go wrong, I still move forward, and not all the time do I open up about myself, but I feel comfortable sometimes. So I think that in describing myself is pretty good, because I felt like I never knew who I was. And once I really started to pick apart pieces that I would see and make me out of all of those things. I had a clear picture of my life and myself, and I actually like who I am today. And I could be satisfied with more things about myself, and I have insecurities just like everyone. But overall, I think I do well for myself. And as best as I can for right now. But I know that in the future or whatever, I paint a much bigger picture.